Have you ever thought about it? The first weapon wasn't a rock. We've all been taught this. Stone Age, stone tools, stone weapons. But the truth is, the first real weapon humans ever made was made of wood. And that discovery was so shocking that when archaeologists found it, they had to rewrite their own timeline. In 1994, in a coal mine in Germany, at a place called Schöningen, workers found something strange. Long, thin, perfectly balanced wooden spears, buried under layers of mud for almost 300,000 years. Not one or two, but 8 spears together. These weren't just pieces of wood. Each spear had its weight balanced toward the front, exactly like a modern javelin. Someone had designed this, on purpose. Here's the real twist. 300,000 years ago, our ancestors, who weren't even Homo sapiens yet, already understood weight distribution. This wasn't an accident. This was engineering. Let's go back a bit further. Humans didn't have sharp teeth or claws. A cheetah, a lion, they had natural weapons. We had nothing except 2 hands and a brain that never stopped asking, how do I solve this problem? At first, humans simply threw rocks. But a rock has limited range and even less accuracy. Getting close to a large animal, a mammoth, a bison, meant risking your own life. So someone thought, what if I could wound it from a distance instead? And that's where the story of wood begins. At first, people would grab a thick branch and sharpen it, grinding a point against a rock. Fire was involved too, holding the wooden tip over low flames to harden it. This technique was so simple, it sounds like genius. But at the time, it was revolutionary. Wood, when treated with controlled fire, changes structure and can become nearly as hard as stone. Think about that. No other animal does this. No chimpanzee holds a stick to fire and strategically hardens it. Only humans could do this because we had planning, the capacity to think about the future. But a sharpened stick alone wasn't enough. The real breakthrough came when someone thought, what if I attach a stone tip to this? This is called hafting, joining 2 different materials to create a new weapon. A sharp stone point bound to a wooden shaft with resin or animal sinew. This wasn't a small thing. It required planning. First, make the stone point, then prepare the shaft, then bind the 2 together with the right tension. 3 separate steps, 3 separate skills, combined into one. Archaeologists found evidence at Sibadu Cave in South Africa, hafted tools almost 70,000 years old. This was proof that the human brain had moved beyond use whatever's in front of me. Now it was solving multi-step problems. And then came the real game changer, the spear thrower, called the atlatl, a small wooden tool that attaches behind the spear, adding leverage when thrown. This meant a human who could once throw a spear 20 meters could now throw it 100 meters, with even more force. Think about the impact of that. You no longer needed to get close to an animal to hunt it. Distance flipped the odds of survival. The human who once had to walk right up to a predator, risking his life, could now stand far away, stay safe, and still make the kill. And behind all of this was something no other animal had: imagination. For the first time, a human looked at something and thought, this doesn't have to stay the way it is. He looked at a thick branch, a piece of stone, and thought, this could become something else. That was the moment we moved from simply using tools to actually designing them. Over time, weapons grew more complex. The bow and arrow appeared. Evidence dates it back roughly 64,000 years in South Africa. It was the most precise, most efficient hunting weapon humans had made up to that point. A single arrow, released at the right angle, was enough to bring down a large animal. But this wasn't only about hunting. As soon as humans had better weapons, they had a new problem too, using them against each other. A tool built for survival became a symbol of power. Whichever group had the better weapon had more control over resources, territory, and other groups. And this pattern hasn't changed to this day. Every technology we've ever created, weapons or otherwise, has given us 2 things at once: protection on one side and new danger on the other. Now think about your own life today. You're sitting at home, safe. No animal is coming to eat you, but this safety didn't happen by accident. It started with one human who, for the first time, held a stick over fire, sharpened it, held it in his hands, and thought, now I'm safe. That person had no idea that his small idea, a sharpened stick, would, thousands of years later, start a whole chain leading to the bow, the arrow, and eventually the gun. He only knew he didn't want to go hungry tomorrow, and he didn't want to become another animal's meal. And maybe that's the most human thing of all, looking at a problem and finding a way to solve it, no matter how simple it seems. A thick branch, the use of fire, a stone tip, three simple things that carried humans all the way to the top of the food chain.